This show's called Drewz Viewz. I'm doing Car Tuesday with Steven Universe, so check it out, okay? Now people love the verse, like, subscribe even. Now let's sit back and watch me watch it. Steven! Hey, we got Drewz Viewz here, back for a little Car Tuesday, reacting to cartoons on Tuesday. Steven Universe, The Verse, Season 2, cruising on toward the end of Season 2, I believe. Today I'm going to do episode 20 and 21 of the season. And last time on, we had a whole lot of Peridot action. It was basically a two-parter, I would consider it, 18 and 19 there. They finally, Team CG, Crystal Gems, got a hold of Peridot, not just her foot, but the rest of her, bubbled her up. They realized that all her little accoutrements, her arms and legs, weren't really part of her as the gem. They were like enhanced weapons, essentially. And she didn't have her notepad or whatever, or her screen, she was calling it, to tell her everything, basically jack her right into the internet. But before the gems had got to her, she was about to tell Steven something about the danger happening to Earth. Wasn't sitting well with Steven. He went and debubbled her, which the gems obviously didn't want initially, but they found out it was a good thing because they found out there's something called the cluster, which could potentially be destroying this very Earth any day now. So she hid out in the bathroom for a bit. She's kind of started trusting Steven a little bit, still calling the Crystal Gems clods, though, doesn't like them. Thinks they betrayed Homeworld, etc. And like I said, the gems were reticent to trust her or let her stay around either, but they decided that they had to find out this information. They left Steven in charge of babysitting. He explained, this was already moving into the second episode then, he explained some things to her, like how the rain works. Basically, she's clueless, like a little kid, knows nothing. She decided she could trust him even more. They went to the kindergarten, where we found out the cluster is heavily related to all these gem mutants we've been seeing around, these force fusions, I've called them. I'm not sure what they're calling them specifically on the show. It might have been something like that. But it's an experiment. When they realized the kindergarten wasn't good for creating new gems to inhabit Earth, they're using it as an experiment lab, basically, to create a monster type of gem that's going to, if it grows big enough, it will destroy the world itself. It's bigger than the Earth itself, it would be, I guess. It's dormant right now, but they said we're seeing these fusions come out because it's getting closer, or something like that. And then right at the end of the episode, Peridot was about to explain to the whole team something more about the cluster, and then cut off. So I'm excited to get back into that now. I'm assuming the next episode will roll right into that. It better. But yeah, with this whole cluster business, I mean, I talked about it a little bit at the end of my last recap there, but it's Peridot obviously wants to stop it and work with them because she's stuck on Earth now. I'm not sure. I thought initially that meant that Yellow Diamond, her theoretical boss here, wanted that too, but maybe not. Maybe Peridot's just going off book now that she's stuck here. And what Yellow Diamond and the rest of the main Homeworld contingent wants is for this cluster to do something, be a weapon for them or something. I mean, they evidently created it in the first place, or so I don't know if they're still trying to use it, or it was kind of a case where it got out of their control and, you know, they need to stop it now. So maybe we'll find out more about that. Peridot seems to think, you know, that Steven and maybe Greg will be able to just help out completely, knowing how the Earth works and with her knowledge, but obviously she still doesn't realize that it's not that simple. But I think we'll continue to see her get schooled for the rest of the season and the rest of these episodes here. Anyway, I want to hop right into it to find out what's going on, and just check down there below, like I've been saying, for Daily Motion link for the actual reaction. Keep this tab open, join me back here for the recap at the end. All right. So essentially another two-parter, another Peridot two-parter, good stuff. Getting a good deal of background on how things are in Homeworld culturally, I guess is a word, or societally. societal structure, and of course, Peridot running the gamut of offending all of them at the same time. Kind of see it again with that last one, this past one and the one before, how it makes a little more sense why the crystal gems are fighting for Earth or wanted to split off from Homeworld. We still don't fully know Rose Quartz's reason, and she's their leader, but we can see why she could have assembled this kind of team together at a certain point based on how they are. And so Peridot continues to learn a little bit. She's still not all the way there. She's saying, well, first of all, she's just doing it because she feels bad, which is how a lot of people behave the right way, because it makes them feel bad to do otherwise. Obviously, that makes sense. But also, she's saying, I damaged my standing with the best gem here. Still kind of being racist in a way, I guess would be one way to look at it. Or I don't know. The gems are considered racist per se. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of subtext here. Allusions to real world issues. This episode, I would say, was so far the most overt reference to the subtext being that Garnet, or the fusion that wants to stay together all the time, is essentially like, I would say, like a homosexual person, or in this case, homosexual marriage or gay marriage. They're even going literally like this. We're talking about the fusions, but like making two holes and like putting it together. The fusion thing is a lot tied in with, I would say, that real world aspect. That's what they're trying to allude to or discuss through this magical world or whatever. But so like when Peridot's saying this makes me uncomfortable, it's clearly like an allusion to saying that someone like two women being married or two men being married or whatever it is makes a person uncomfortable. But it was pretty funny how Garnet didn't obviously take any back talk like that and just tied her up to a fence or whatever. So yeah, and the episode before was the Pearl one about her being a servant or whatnot. And then so that one was more, I would say, more of an allusion to racism based on people thinking one race is subservient to another, or one race subjugates another. That's clearly was that illusion. And then with the amethyst thing, I would say it's an allusion to someone who's, I guess, disabled maybe, or a little person, or dwarf, or whatever. Could be an example. I mean, there was a height-based thing in this one in particular, maybe a strength-based thing. But again, Peridot was still acting like Amethyst should be the one in charge based on what type of gem she is. So again, to tie in these kind of real-world illusions, I'm trying to think if there's a better word than illusion that I should be using for this, but it's failing me right now. But anyway, it's clear that the social strata on Homeworld is a certain way, and that's what Peridot's reacting to. And it seems like we don't know for sure, but it seems like her behavior kind of is based on what more the norm is versus how the crystal gems we know and love are acting and behaving, living on Earth. So, but again, yeah, she is learning. That's mainly the point of these episodes, along with the continual story of this cluster. So they got a drill thing together for it this time. I guess they're going to try to go through the center of the Earth to destroy it. I'm assuming that's kind of going to be the finale of this season. Maybe something will happen, like, we're still looking for the Lapis Jasper fusion to unfuse, and maybe Jasper comes back and causes trouble. Maybe Yellow Diamond did hear, Peridot's warning messages that she was sending out and is going to show up at any point now. We don't know, or send other people. Maybe there's time in this season to squeeze one more kind of flashback episode in, get some more Rose action. I don't know at this point, though. I mean, we've got a pretty good amount of that this season, I guess. Yeah, and, please leave some comments if you'd like to discuss anything here on the videos. Hopefully everyone's cool with clicking over to the Daily Motion link and clicking back here right now. I did know it does seem like there's some drop-off so far in views, comments, whatever, but I guess it's understandable if it's a little harder to do it now, or maybe it's just unrelated, I don't know. But, please feel free to leave some comments for me, and especially I'm going to do another like I did after season 1 at the end of season 2. But before I start 3, I'm going to do another podcast episode, which half of that will be tackling viewer questions. So if you want to already start leaving some questions, go ahead. Just don't spoil anything for the rest of the season. Or, I'll mention this again on the finale, so you can wait till then if you like. But yeah, so I'm getting pretty excited about this season. It's ramping up nicely, and I really find it interesting, the Homeworld stuff and how the society works there and the backgrounds of all these characters. So that's been good to see this past, I would say, 3-4 episodes or so. All right, well, that's going to do it for my foray into the verse today. Please join me back here next time for episode 22 and 23 of season 2. And subscribe and all that fun stuff. And until then, I'm up out of here. Peace.
You've got to be joking.
You know when I'm joking.